Out of the Park Baseball 22. Play what the pros play. The world's best baseball strategy game. Whether you're new school or old school, all that matters is winning. Take full control of any current Major League Baseball franchise. Discover and develop elite players, coaches, and scouts. Run your team your way and build a World Series champion. The Infinite Baseball Sandbox. All new for 2021. Stunning new 3D ballparks for every Major League team. Or build your own unique, majestic landmark with our dramatically improved ballpark construction kit. A completely remodeled coaching system that connects and impacts your entire organization. All new strategies and management options give you unprecedented control. Plus, dozens of gameplay and performance improvements that make the best even better. And of course, Perfect Team 22. The critically acclaimed online competition roars back this season with more strategies, more content, and a brand new mode, Perfect Draft. Out of the Park Baseball 22, available worldwide on March 26th, 2021.
I see many new things. That's the new trailer, and we have so much more to show you right now. Hello everyone, I'm Scott Braun. This is the world premiere reveal event of Out of the Park Baseball 22. Tonight's all about the latest and greatest from Out of the Park developments. We are psyched to show up the big time updates and the new features that make this the world's best baseball strategy game. The OOTP team works year-round on making sure that you're in total control of every aspect of the baseball franchise building world. Everything you love about the game is back. You're good. But what about the new stuff? The clear theme this year is franchise mode transformed. Yes, there's the visual enhancements like the all-new picturesque 3D stadiums for every major league team. And if you want to custom build your park to perfection, go for it. That's what the updated personal ballpark construction kit can do. It's better than ever. And then there's the organization building enhancements like the all-new coaching system that introduces new coaches to the staff with new abilities that permeate the organization, along with fresh new player and team strategies. There's a lot here. If you've played Out of the Park Baseball before, you know the attention to detail is second to none. This is the game for real-life franchise building experience. And that never-ending strive for perfection is what leads us to the new strategic options and the features that are built for this year's edition. We're going to dive deeper into those updated features in just a bit. It'll be a personal introduction for you to get acquainted with everything new in this year's game. But first, we want to take you back to where Out of the Park Baseball all started. It was truly the ultimate underdog story in sports video game history. Marcus Heinz Zone started the entire phenomenon, and for over 22 years, he's been the driving force of Out of the Park Baseball, and he's about to join us right now. So first, a bit more background on Marcus's journey. Marcus fell in love with baseball as a teenager in Germany when he was introduced to the sport by a friend, and that baseball fandom stuck with him. That's where this epic passion project was born. A young German man who couldn't find a baseball video game like the one he was dreaming about. So what do? Build your own. Really. Over the course of 2 decades, with many of those years as the only person creating the game, Marcus crafted a software revolution that led to Out of the Park Baseball becoming the world's leading baseball strategy game and simulation engine. It's an incredible story of filling a need for a game like this, and in addition to being known for its otherworldly immersion into the game of baseball, it's used today by Major League Baseball managers across the country for situational practice and scouting and number crunching analysts. It's also about the uncanny AI and baseball game engine that routinely predicts the winners of the World Series at the start of the postseason. It's true. Look it up. OOTP is first class in the prediction business. From the early days of one man building a baseball video game in Germany to now being on baseball's biggest stage, that's an incredible story. And joining us now is the man who made it all happen, Marcus Heinz. Welcome, Marcus. Congrats on the 22nd version of Out of the Park Baseball.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
Let's dive right in. We're excited to have you, and we're pumped about this year's game. What are you most excited about in this year's game?
That will probably have to be the new 3D ballparks. The whole 3D feature is just transformed through that, and I love the way it looks. I love the way it makes you feel much more that you are closer to the action, and the quality is just comparing to what we had before, which frankly was still good considering the small team that we have for developers and artists. But now this is a new league. So before that it was rookie leagues, and now we're very close to the major leagues when it comes to visuals, I would say. Yeah.
I would say that's even underselling. It is all-star level, the way that it looks right now in this year's game. And I know that it took a lot of power, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of collaboration. Just guide us through what went into taking that part of the game, the ballparks, to the next level.
Actually, a few of our viewers might be aware that our company was recently acquired last year by a company called Come to Us. And Come to Us are also good partners from MLB and the MLBPA, and they do have a few mobile games, baseball mobile games, and they are awesome. They have lots of 3D assets in those games. And for us, the idea was, all right, how can we use those assets and transform them in a way so that they work inside out of the park baseball? And that was quite difficult because 3D doesn't really mean, all right, just pick this stuff and plug it into the new product, and it just doesn't work that way. So we had a massive team working on all this. Our 3D developers had to adjust their code to make the models load, and then there were several features like the lightning or the audience detail and everything. So there was a lot of work involved to technically display those models. And then the team in Korea had to go in and change their models to reflect certain features that we have, but their games don't. So there were, I don't know, maybe a dozen people involved just working on all of this, which is by far the biggest collaboration and the biggest effort in terms of manpower for one single feature that we ever had. And I'm completely happy with the result, and I'm very, very sure that our customers will be the same. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yes, same here. You can tell, you can see the difference. You can see how much it took to put this all together and take the visuals to the next level. What are your thoughts on the evolution of franchise mode as a whole? How has it been transformed to become what it is today, with more and more features, with, for example, this year, the ability to do so much more on the coaching side as well?
Yeah, frankly, I mean, the game has been around for 22 years now, and every year it becomes more difficult to add new stuff and to refine the existing stuff. So this year we focused on a lot of the basics. For example, like the trade AI has gotten a huge overhaul, for example, or even the game engine. It's the game engine. We try to incorporate more current research every single year. For example, like catcher framing, which had been in the game for a while, but now research has caught up, and we know exactly what the impact of good catchers are in terms of run prevention overall over the entire season. So we're modeling all of this. And on top of that, we try to focus on the coaching staff a little bit more, because the player's one story, right? But if a player isn't happy and doesn't feel a good connection or a good chemistry with the coaching staff, maybe he's not going to perform as good. And that's what we try to model. We have more ratings for coaches. We had better modeling of possible relationships between coaches and players. How good do they work together? Does the pitching coach match up with the philosophy and style of the pitcher? And all of this combined makes it really important for you as a general manager to keep an eye on your coaching staff, and also the decisions that you do when you're trying to fill a new position, which, by the way, have been expanded as well. We do have base coaches now. So it is important that you do have good base coaches who pay attention, and who knows, maybe in World Series Game 7, one crucial decision by the game coach, the base coach, could cost you the game or win you the World Series. I mean, It's those little details that combined make franchise mode, in my opinion, a brand new experience, definitely. Yeah.
That's true. And it's amazing to think of the advancements and how to make it even more and more real life when there's so much already that's brought to the table. But you're right. I mean, it could be one huge game where you made that move, where now suddenly chemistry and even human psychology is really implemented into the game in the way that you are constructing a coaching staff. So we're going to explain every single new feature in depth for everyone really soon. The transformation has been incredible. Everyone's going to be really pleased with what you brought to the table this year. So I do want to dive into the story a little bit and just take everyone back to the birth of Out of the Park baseball. And it is a question that I know you've answered in the past, but how does a young man from Germany say, you know what, there's nothing good enough out there, so I'm going to create the best baseball strategy game on the planet and make it into Out of the Park baseball?
Yeah, it was just pure luck, to be honest. So when I was 14 or 15 years old, I didn't know what baseball was. I saw it once on TV, and I thought like this is a strange game. They're, I don't know, hitting the ball, running around, and I didn't understand the rules, and I wasn't interested, right? So that was like my first 15 minutes of baseball. But then a friend of mine, we were a group of friends, and we were hanging around at the old elementary school of us, and there was a soccer field, and we were playing soccer a lot. And a friend of mine then brought a bat and a couple of gloves and a few balls from a trip to Miami. So the friends that he visited, they thought, all right, we need to give this guy a little bit of American culture. So they gifted him this baseball equipment, and he came back with that, and we thought like, oh wow, that's interesting. So let's try this, and we immediately got hooked. And a couple of years later, even formed a real team and played organized ball in Germany. So I actually played for 15 years until my arm broke down. I was a pitcher. So yeah, and early in my baseball career, I think I was like 19 years old. I was playing a lot of hardball from Accolade. I think it was this action game on a PC, and I loved it, totally loved it. But then I figured out, oh man, the simulation engine is really not good. You know, you had pitchers with an ERA of 0.27 over the entire season, and hitters hitting, I don't know, like 85 home runs, stuff like that. And I was like, no, that's not realistic, and it's not really fun to play this game when in the end the statistics are completely unrealistic. So in Europe, sports strategy and management games are really popular. And I, as a kid with friends, we always played soccer management games. And I figured, is there something out there for baseball which creates an environment where I can manage my team and I can experience realistic results without having to worry about guiding the players around the field with a joystick, right? So that wasn't my cup of tea. And I didn't find anything that suited my taste. And I was already a software developer as a hobby back then. And I thought, oh man, let's try this. Let's sit down and design a game. And I also started studying computer science at the University of Hamburg. And at the same time, the project got a little bit more mature. And at the end of, in May 1999, it was finished. And I figured, all right, let's try this. Let's try to release the game and see how many people actually like my vision of a baseball simulation, baseball strategy game. And 250 people bought it over the internet, which was brand new back then, the internet. And so that's how it all started. And it's kind of a weird story. I always think like, okay, what would have happened if my buddy would have brought a basketball or football from his trip to Miami? And I would most certainly not have developed a basketball game because I'm just bad at playing basketball. So yeah, that's how it all worked out.
Everything had to come together and the timing was impeccable. And then I think also the reaction from the community, like you mentioned, it starts with 250 people back then all the way into the powerhouse that it is today. And you think about the people that have been around for the ride in the past 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, how rewarding has it been for you to have such a strong community of thousands and thousands of dedicated, passionate, out of the park baseball fans all over the world?
I often have to pinch myself because it's unreal, frankly. There are many on the community which I remember from back of those days, like 1999 or early 2000s, and it's almost like a bunch of friends or extended family, right? Because you recognize those names in the community, and you talk to those people as if they were your friends, because they are sort of your friends. It's crazy, and it's a lot of fun. And our style of communication has always been a little bit different than the industry style, and we are very, very open with our communication, and we are approachable. At least I think so. And yeah, I think that has helped us to forge a bond with our community, so that the community also gives back, not only by buying the game, but they provide us with so many ideas and feedback, and it's incredible. And a lot of them, they help by creating mods for the game, or they are part of the beta test team, and they do it all just for fun, because they love the game and they love the community. And it's incredible. I mean, I don't know if there is a different word for that. It's just awesome. I love it.
That's where the power of the internet is at its finest, right? The connectivity and being
Yeah.
able to talk to people all over the world and have this dedicated community and fan base. So one more reflection point that I'm curious about is highlights that come to mind for you in the 22-year journey of building this game into a powerhouse in the industry. So it could be something for you personally. It could be a certain update or a certain conversation even you had with someone in the community. What was something that really stands out to you, whether it's a turning point or just a special story that you'll always remember?
I think that would be the release of version number 3. That was in the year 2002. And what we did back then was that we had a little party. So basically around noon our time, we released the game, and then we met with our families. So back then we were just 3 guys working on the game, right? So we had a little barbecue party together, and we constantly hit the refresh button on the browser to get updates on the sales numbers, and also hit the refresh on the forums to see the feedback, if people are happy and they're playing the game, and then what they discover, the new features. And then they discovered a huge, massive bug. Basically, the whole ERA calculation for pitchers were completely screwed. And then panic set in. It was like, oh my God, I broke the game, and now everybody's unhappy. So I rushed home and I fixed the bug and uploaded a new version. And then I returned back to the party, and I could just enjoy the barbecue. But that was kind of like super stressful, but also super fun in retrospect. And so it also shows that we were just a really, really, really small company, and we were heavily invested personally with all our emotions into the project. And that's one of those fond memories.
Being a former pitcher, that was like your moment coming into a game, 9th inning, bases loaded, right? You've got to clean up this mess that some other reliever left for you, and suddenly ride the team to victory to the finish line. So that was really the clutch moment that goes behind the scenes in the making of Out of the Park Baseball. That's really awesome. So I guess let's finish with the current game and the version that's coming out right now. How often, I think everyone likes to know too, just your involvement and your fandom. How often have you played? How often have you tinkered recently with the version that's coming out today? And how excited are you about it?
I mean, I obviously I'm programming a lot on it, but I'm also playing it. And that's one of the things, especially prior to release, within the last 3 weeks of development time, I typically try to sit down for a few hours each week and just play the game and just see, all right, how does the game flow feel? Are there certain things where I feel like, okay, this can't be right? And to just put everything together and get a feel for the overall state of the game at that moment. And that helps a lot. So I think that way everything ties together, and certain things that may seem small in the beginning or in terms of the tunnel visions that a few of the developers typically have, right? If you're looking a little bit outside the box and just play the game, it makes you discover a few rough edges, and you can just clean it up, and it makes for a better product. Yeah, most definitely.
That alone is a pinch me moment, right? Where you're actually not only creating and developing a game each year that brings so much joy and entertainment to thousands of fans, but then also playing along before anyone else gets to see it, and also being able to tinker with something, go, you know what, I want to change that. And you can change that. How many people play a game and say, hey, I want to make this switch, or I wish that we could suddenly have more chemistry with the coaching staff, and you can bring that to life. So Marcus, you have an awesome job. You've done an amazing job with the game and where it's at today. And we're really psyched to play Out of the Park Baseball 22. So thank you for joining us all the way from Germany. Great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the release, and I hope people love the game. Yeah, thanks.
Marcus is a legend. That was fun. Cool guy, cool job, cool life. And thank you, Marcus, again. And now it's time to show off these special touches that he made for Out of the Park Baseball 22, not just with all the updates you're craving, but also the new features to bring to the party. We said it earlier, I'll say it again. The theme of Out of the Park Baseball 22 is franchise mode transformed. Let's begin at the ballpark. We're going to run through what your new 3D stadium experience is going to look like at all 30 current parks. It's mind-blowing. Here's your sneak peek of the before and after visuals. Now remember, Marcus told us how this required more people in the collaboration process than any other project in OOTP history. That includes work from people in Europe, North America, and Asia, and there are possibilities for even more ballparks added to other areas of the game. Stay tuned. You know the crew is always going to keep you posted on social media at OOTP Baseball. They'll give you the latest news and updates. I mean, look at how impressive these parks are. This is how you display these show-stopping structures. It's been an impressive evolution, and the longtime fans have seen the in-game experience evolve from, remember, pure text to simple graphics to now a complete 3D experience with player animations and a perspective of the action that has made major moves from a few years ago. You can also bring your own vision to life with the newly renovated 3D ballpark construction kit. This is the beauty of having a brilliantly creative baseball fanatic as the lead coder of Out of the Park Baseball. Marcus had a long-time dream of customizing his own parks in the game, and then he made that dream a reality last year because he can, and of course it was a huge hit. So the kit is back, and it's souped up with more tricks. It's a 3D sandbox that hands players the creative freedom to construct the ballpark of their own dreams. And this is what the turbo boosted kit is going to bring to the table. You can now move fences around, and all of the elements that are behind it will line up so nicely. So if you want to construct a spacious ballpark, you need to get the updated kit. Also, calling all green monster seekers, you can now craft your own monster. Go big if you'd like. Structures including the outfield walls and behind the outfield walls can now be adjusted for height. And that's going to take the architectural creativity to new heights. It's true. Oh, and don't forget about the foul poles. They now move in conjunction with the most left and most right areas of the fences. That means much quicker modifications in the corners of your outfield. Think about all of the possibilities, all of the creative freedom. These are quality of life improvements and new elements that are going to inspire a whole new universe of customized ballparks all across the Out of the Park Baseball 22 landscape. So when you get the game and you build a work of art, can you do me one favor? Share it with the world on social media, please. We're all about the dream ballpark screenshots. We want to see them. Thank you. Now, when it comes to managing your organization, nothing compares to Out of the Park Baseball. It's not even close. I'm talking unmatched depth with finances, personnel, scouting, both domestic and international, free agency, trades, player development, and the list goes on and on. And look at Out of the Park Baseball 22 separating itself from the pack even more. Yes, shocker, it's a blowout. They've outdone themselves yet again. And this time, it's the new layer that brings together a coaching staff from start to finish. First off, more coaches are in the mix. Both a first and third base coach have been added, and they'll be a big deal for your bottom line and your in-game base running, including stealing and plays at the plate. You also assign roles. That means you decide if the first or the third base coach or the bench coach will be handling your training. The parameters of coaching attributes have been expanded, so that includes defense rating for teaching catchers, infielders, and outfielders. The updated coaching page will give you even more information to evaluate, then pick the best coaches for the system that you want to run. So choose your staff wisely. It matters in real life, so now it matters in the game. Also, just like in real life, it's not just about picking the best coaches, but picking the best coaching combinations. Yes, staff cohesion is a new attribute for your coaching staff, aka some coaches will work better together than others. So hire the coaches that are on the same page if you want to get the most out of your staff and then reap the benefits and W's on the field. We know coaching staffs can be a revolving door in the majors, and now that's the case in the game. New for this year, you can hire coaches away from other clubs for a promotion, like bringing over a talented bench coach from another team to be your manager. Entice that coach who you think's gonna mesh with the way that you want your organization to operate and maximize the potential of your ball club. One of the many amazing features of Out of the Park Baseball is its flexibility. Want to manage every inning? Sure. Every at-bat? You can do that. Every pitch of every game? Okay. And thanks to the unmatched engine this game has, you can also simulate through days and weeks and months in moments if you'd like. There's strategic control as well. So if you're not managing the games, you can still elicit virtually complete control of what moves are made. OOTP has always been known for its deep strategies at a team and individual player level. We know that. And this year, they've added a lot more to the table. These new player and team strategies impact the traditional modes of the game, and it's also a game changer for the wildly popular Perfect Team Persistent Online mode. Longtime players, you're gonna love the added layer of control over pinch hitting. You can fine-tune the usage of your players, so you make sure your big bat comes up when the game is on the line. You also have more control on the pitching side. You can customize your defensive alignment and strategies, and every pitcher is unique, right? So go wild, go beyond the team thought process. You can customize for each pitcher now. That's a game changer. The in-game AI has been updated to handle all of this and more. On the team strategy side, some of the options now have more detail to ensure that what you want to happen is going to happen, at least when it comes to putting players in the position you want. For example, you can change your setup even more now, whether you're leading or you're trailing in a game, and that's done by utilizing more detailed options based upon the number of runs ahead or the number of runs behind, like choosing what to do if it's a 4+ run lead versus choosing what to do if you're trailing by a run. And of course, you also can customize those decisions based on what point of the game you happen to be in. The trading settings have been given more fine control over how easy or difficult, in other words, how accurate to real life your trading will be. The AI is back and better than ever. The trading AI has been revamped to better match a team's specific situation to their trading offers. For example, teams that are looking to make a pennant run will be more likely to trade for an expiring contract. And AI teams will be smarter in giving offers to human players. Those offers will reflect what situation the club is currently in more than ever before. We did it. Those are the big ticket items this year, but being out of the park baseball, you know there are so many other smaller improvements in every aspect of the game that you're going to notice, and we'll be talking even more about those changes between now and launch. So, what do you think? Hit us on social media at OOTP Baseball on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Tell us your favorite new feature. We want to hear from you. We love interacting with the OOTP community. Purchase the game, get involved in that community, and most importantly, enjoy it. Have fun. Also, Perfect Team has taken the online community by storm. It's amazing. It's so big that it deserves its own reveal event now. So you can learn all about Perfect Team 22 on March 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. Just go to twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. That's on March 16th. Perfect Team players, we feel your excitement. We created this event just for you. It's all about Perfect Team 22. And if you're pumped to hear all about more info, it's about 10 days away. It's going to be worth the wait. Trust me. We accomplished a lot tonight, but we still have more new items to cover in Out of the Park Baseball 22. So here's the deal. Come hang out at the OOTP Community Q&A on Friday, March 19th. It's right here on the Out of the Park Developments YouTube page. And not only will we run through the details of many more new items, but that's your time, your chance to send in questions. We'll be answering a ton of those questions from the community. This is the best time of the year. The MLB season is around the corner, and Out of the Park Baseball 22 has arrived. It was so fun showing you everything about the game that's new, and then so much more to cover in the events coming up this month. Thanks to Marcus Heinz for joining us earlier. Also, thanks to him for creating the masterpiece that brings us all together. Thank you. The power of an MLB franchise is in your hands. You can run your own club with the attention to detail that you deserve. Play what the pros play. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on the 16th for the Perfect Team 22 event. I'm Scott Braun. It's really been a pleasure. I'm going to go build the franchise of my dreams. I've got work to do. See ya.